Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. David is here and today we're gonna talk a bit about the violin. So this one I don't need right now because we talk about the violin. This video gonna be about the violin and its quality or not. So why do I post this video? Because I really received a lot of questions concerning the fact or the topic. Hey, is the violin I do have right now in my hands or I'm looking for, is it a good violin or not? So regardless of the brand or the name behind, there are a few very simple rules you just need to know and watch out, and then you will know immediately yourself, is it good or not? The instrument you have right now in your hand and probably you're thinking about to buy or to rent or to get. However, if you like the videos on my channel, if you like this video and whatever, just subscribe to this channel and share it, and put also comments in there. If you have any ideas, put them down there. I will check everything, I promise. And if there's anything I can do to make your life a bit easier with the violin or to solve your problems, I will post other videos, promise. But now let's get straight to this topic. Let's start with point number one, how to know is it good or not. Point number one is the texture in general, the texture of the wood. If you have a violin like this, you see there is a texture visible here, 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 also here and here. Everywhere is a texture. If the violin you have has this, it's already a plus. Because cheap violins like this, they simply don't have it. The wood is really cheap because a wood without texture is often cheap wood. And almost all the time, all the way, if you go for this kind of instruments, it's not only cheap wood, it's also covered with a very way too thick varnish. Okay, so this is point number one. The texture should be everywhere. All the wooden parts which are used and built the violin, they should be with a texture. Point number two is the top plate. The top plate, you should, if possible, you should see these lines. And the more narrow they are, the better it is. Because this, you might know, it's like, these are the annual rings. I think this is the right name in English. And the annual rings, if they are as close as possible all together, it's the best. Why? You can check online, Google, whatever, but I can tell you, if you see them, it's already good. And if they are narrow as possible, it's really good that you see them. They are narrow. It's a plus as well. So the next thing, number three, is the back plate, back or deck plate, whatever. This one should have a texture. There we have often two different types. We have this type, like you see there are two, and they are glued in the middle, and it's kind of, they are mirrored, I would say. And you see a wonderful texture of the wood, which is really good visible. Also, you see often with the old handmade violins and the more expensive violins, you see not only the texture, also you see there is kind of, it's a bit kind of flamed, or it's really interesting made. And you immediately will see, instead of this, which is boring and just one color, you see this texture. And the vanish is should be actually thin everywhere. Here, 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 everywhere. It should be thin. It shouldn't cover an instrument too thick. It's just there to support the beauty of the wood and to support the sound, not more. The cheap instruments like this one, again, they just put the vanish as thick as possible that the instrument is shiny, and that's it. But it doesn't support sound, and actually it does need also to support whatever texture, because cheap instruments, they simply don't have a lot texture. So this is the point about three, about the back or deck plate. Now we come to point number four. It's the sound post. It's inside. It's the little stick which is connecting the top with the deck. And this one should be there. It's already good. If you see it's there, it's good. If you want to get a good sound, it's always good to go to a violin master or violin builder, violin whatever. Someone with a good knowledge and all the instruments you need for this. And often if you correct this one inside, the sound can get really better. Because there is the one perfect position, and if it's there, it makes a lot for the sound. But this one you shouldn't do yourself. Go somewhere and let someone work on it who really knows what to do. Okay? The next point, which is point number 5, it's the edge inlays. So this one is also a sign for a good handmade high quality instrument. And the edge inlays, you know them, it's this kind of 2 black lines. They are going all the way the edges all around here and also here. If you see them and you see that they are not painted, because the cheap instruments, the really cheap ones, it's just painted. But the good ones, the procedure is quite difficult to make it. It's like a very delicate work, and then you see it's real wood inlays here. Okay, if they are there, good sign, go for it. The next thing is number 6. It's the fingerboard. The fingerboard should be made out of ebony. This is a black wood. If it's not ebony, often the cheaper violins, they have just whatever wood which is just painted black. And often you see this immediately because you see already by watching the wood closely that one wood is ebony, there is no vanish, there is no color. And the ones which are just painted black, you see often where people maybe played already, it's getting a bit lighter, the color. And also you see that it's actually painted. So have an eye on this. The next point, which is number 7, it's about the violin scroll. It's this one. And this actually is almost the most important thing, I would say, because this is actually the business card, as I used to say, of a violin maker, of a luthier, or whatever names are existing for it. Because to make this nice, it takes a bit of time, and you will see immediately if it's really fine made, the edges, and also how deep it goes, and also this part, and all the things should be really wonderful, made with really fine, delicate edges and stuff. You will see immediately if it's handmade, because the ones which are cheap and just out of a factory, it's just made by a machine. They are pretty thick. They are kind of really, yeah, just not really beautiful. And often they are just same. They just put a lot of vanish on it, and it's kind of, yeah, you see it's a scroll, but it's a bit ugly, I would say. And the last point, which is the most important, it's about the vanish itself. My opinion is the vanish should be just there to support, as I said at the beginning, it should support the sound and it should support the texture and the beauty of the wood. Like makeup, you know, if you put makeup and it's a bit too much, it doesn't look good anymore. Makeup should be there to support the beauty of a face. This is my opinion. Same with the violin. And if you see this, violins, often you see them in different colors. Like it can be brown, it can be red, whatever, but often you see almost no texture and you see only boom, it's just shiny, way too much vanish. This is not it. And if you see this, you see the wood, you really see the texture, and you see a bit of kind of, it's a bit flamed, and you see everywhere, all around, you see texture everywhere, and you see that the vanish is not too thick, it's just there to support, it's fine made, then you know it's a good violin, minimum optically. But my experience is often, beside of that, I always suggest everyone to go and to grab, to take a bit of time and to find a used violin, a bit older. It can be 50 years, 40 years old, maybe 30 years. But I suggest to go for it. Take your time, because often you will have an instrument which is already played, which is good. And also, if it's like I described everything like this, made like this, you will have an instrument which is handmade. You support everyone who's building instruments, and you also support the people who are maybe saving money for a better instrument. They want to sell something. So this procedure, I love it because it's a huge support of everything. Also support of good and great made violins. Of course, you can go for Amazon and whatever violins which are brand new and they are made from factories. But believe me, these ones, you're gonna play them a little bit and then you probably one day you will go anyway for something like this. So I prefer to go immediately for this because often you can find really good instrument. Check another video here I posted. For only 80, 90, 100 euros or dollars you find great instruments. You just need to take a bit of time and also a bit of time to set up the violin, to pimp it a little bit, and it will sound good. Same good as brand new violins, which are just a bit more ugly and often sound-wise not really good. This is it, what I have to say for violins. I hope you liked it. I hope it will help you by finding your violin of the dream. And stay tuned, subscribe if you liked, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.